If you say, I'm going to prospect every day for 2 hours and you don't do that and you don't make it up on a Saturday or Sunday, you are depleting your abundance bank. And when you deplete that enough, you also deplete your confidence. But when you become a man or a woman of your word and you do and say the things that you're going to do and you actually do them and you show up for yourself, guess what happens? You start to see the world differently. There's a mindset that I have seen in real estate agents for a long time. And that mindset is actually a scarcity mindset. Now, what does that mean? It means that a lot of people, because they don't know where their next deal is going to come from, are very stressed out. Even people that are making hundreds of thousands of dollars, that are very comfortable financially, are so stressed out. And they still talk with a scarcity mindset. And I know because I lived it. Before I retired in real estate in 2018, right? Our best year ever, we did over, $1.5 million in commissions. And I would still hammer my team. Where's our next deal? Where's our next deal? Where's our next deal? I was still anxious all the time. And I didn't realize it was because I was coming from a place of scarcity instead of a place of abundance, right? We had the skills, we had the coaches, we had the Zillow, we had the lead sources, right? We had the sphere of influence that we worked on for so many years to develop relationships, right? To take the cold online Zillow lead and turn that Zillow lead into a raving fan, nurtured them, loved them, cared for them. We still, even with the lead flow we had, we still were running in a place of scarcity. But that was because I was running in a place of scarcity, so my team was running in a place of scarcity. And do you think being an anxious human being is a very healthy thing to be? It's not. It's not. And so when we talk about the scarcity mindset, right, it's the mindset of coming from less than, instead of the abundance mindset where it's coming where there's an overflowing pot, right? There's an overflowing pot. And guess what? There's always somebody there to scoop up that gold. The person who comes from an abundant mindset always knows there's more business out there, whether we're going through a recession, a depression, right? Or the market's going up, the market's going sideways. They are consistently doing it. One of my mentors, Terry, right? Every year, she'd over 100 million, over 100 million, over 100 million. Market got hot, over 100 million. Market got cold, over 100 million. Always had a business that was doing insane numbers. Why? Well, her mindset was different, right? One of my mentors, Art, right? Super cool dude. I loved hanging out with him. His kid, not so much. Kind of pompous, rich kid, whatever. But Art, fucking loved that dude. Super chill. And I remember we'd always go to Indian Buffet. There's this little restaurant that we both loved. And whenever he or I were in the office and it's kind of pop my head next to her, I'd be like, yo, want to grab lunch? He's like, I do. And would drive and his phone would ring and he would mute it. And he's like, oh, I apologize for my phone. And I'm like, bro, answer that thing. That's money. I saw the builder's name pop up on your navigation. He's like, no, it's cool. It's cool. I'm like, answer the phone. It could be a buyer for your listing. Could be a new client. He's like, Vic, if I answered the phone every time I was out with friends and family, I would never have any friends or family. I said, but, he's like, but what? He said, I'm with you. I'm in an appointment. This appointment's meaningful to me. You matter. If those people don't want to do business with me because I didn't run to their beck and call, I don't want to work with those type of people. He says, I want to work with people who I want to work with. I want to work with people that trust me. I want to work with people who are okay with me not picking up the phone because I'm doing something else. I'm like, so what do you say when you call him back? You're not you're going to tell him you're at lunch with some other agent that is in your office? He's like, first off, you're not some random. He's like, I like you, Vikram. And I don't need to tell him anything. I wasn't available and that's it. He's like, if I choose to tell him something, let's say I was having lunch with a friend. Holy shit, what? First off, I'm honored you consider me like that. But two, like I'm honored to be in the same league as you. You know, you're going to sell 300 homes this year. How do you not get the anxiousness? How do you not get the jitteriness when your phone rings and you don't answer it? When you can't answer it, right? He's like, because I've trained myself to come from a place of abundance. I know that if this person doesn't work with me, there's somebody else that would be a better fit. I know from years of experience that working with this needy client that abuses me because they don't value my time, they don't value me, is going to cause me a lot more pain than by working with the person who does value me. He's like, if you called me, Vikram, and I didn't pick up the phone, and I called you back the next day because I was out with my wife on a date, and we were in the city, and we started at 4:30, and we went to this bar, and then we had some cocktails here, and then we had some wine here, we did this there, we did that there. If I called you back the next day, would you be like, oh my God, and start screaming and yelling at me? Be like, no. I'd be like, hey man, was it date night? I'd be like, it was date night actually. And then you'd probably say, what'd you do? And I said, that's exactly what I'd say. I'm like, what restaurant did you go to? What wine did you drink? Because I know he drinks great wine. He's like, exactly. Would you be upset with me? I'd be like, no, because I hope one day that I have a wife that I can go do a crazy, awesome, beautiful date night with. He's like, exactly. That's why I enjoy hanging out with you, because it's no pressure. He's like, now if you have a client that calls and says, why didn't you pick up the phone? I called you last night at 8:30. Where the F were you at? How excited are you going to be to ever answer their call? Like, not at all. I'm like, I got clients like that. He's like, and how excited are you to really work extra hard for them? I'm like, I can't wait for the transaction to be done so that we can take them out of our client list and never talk to them again. He's like, exactly. It's like, so I just manifest what I want for the last 20 years of my life. He said, 20 years ago, I had a client just like that. And I said, I'm never going to work with a person like that again. And if I do accidentally work with a person like that, I'm going to sit them down and give them my rules that I require, right? My boundaries that I require in order to work with somebody. And I said, what if they said, we don't want to work with you? Vikram, there's plenty of people buying real estate in every market. And I've been through all of them. I've been through 25% interest rates. I've been through 2008. I've been through the .com, right? The 2000s. I've been through all of them. He said, and guess what? There's always somebody buying. There's always somebody selling. If you don't come from a place of abundance, if you don't come from a place of gratitude and overflowingness, somebody else is eating your lunch while you're shaking, wishing your phone was ringing. One of the ways that you cultivate this mind of abundance, right? One of the ways that you cultivate this mind of, oh my gosh, overflowingness, right? Is we work not only just on our mindset, but we work on our skills. And we do the things that we say we're going to do. If you say, I'm going to prospect every day for 2 hours and you don't do that, and you don't make it up on a Saturday or Sunday, you are depleting your abundance bank. And when you deplete that enough, you also deplete your confidence. And when you deplete that enough, you're left with that shaking nervousness all day long. But when you become a man or a woman of your word and you do and say the things that you're going to do, and you actually do them, and you show up for yourself, but you invest into yourself and you learn the skills, guess what happens? You start to see the world differently. When you say, you know what? You're right. We had a sales call the other day and I thought it was going to be a total awesome sales call. Person reached out, blah, blah, blah. And at the end of the call, they said, we have to do a couple things before we can sign up with you, blah, blah, blah. And I reached out to my assistant, Ray, and I was like, oh, Ray, she asked me how the call was. And I'm like, they didn't sign up. And I was a little bummed about it. And I followed the process, did the things. And she goes, that's all right, Vic. Like you always say, this one's probably not ours. Let them go. Let them go. Go find the ones that do want to work with you. And I was like, God, I want to just strangle somebody, right? Like I was mad at myself because I could have probably done a better job. And she says, this just isn't the one. Should I go for a walk? It's like, do the things that you tell your clients. Go for a walk, come back, sit down, do what you need to do, make your calls, reach out to the people that actually want to work with us. Go find them because they exist, right? Go find them. They exist. They're in our database. So we got thousands of names and numbers in there. There's no shortage, Vic. I was like, you're right. So sometimes even we need a little bit of love from our people to remind us that, hey, there's always opportunities. The question is, are they going to come to you? Are they going to go to somebody else, right? Are you causing them to come into your world because of your mindset? Are you causing them to go to somebody else because you're pushing them away? If you enjoyed this episode, please do me a favor. Like, subscribe, send this to a friend. Again, we appreciate you because without you, we wouldn't be here. I'll see you soon.